is about to commence. The turncoat chaos coming to the ring with the hardcore princess who stabbed Havoc in the back. And there you see the guy that recruited him to NWA Wildside. They're the new chaotic cult, and he's David Young.
David Young, former multiple-time NWA World Tag Team Champion. He don't know what he's getting into the ring with.
What is on Von Tankard's face?
He's kind of like a Skeletor Skullbun Crush crossover gimmick. But he's teaming up with Jet Jaguar. This is the Hardcore Champion and the Florida Unified Cruiserweight Champion teaming up to take out the Chaotic Cult, who come to that ring with that turncoat bitch with the ample bosom that she happens to possess. Come into the ring to destroy Wildside once and for all. And who's the referee? A former NWA Georgia referee himself, the Mud Baby, Star Stevens.
I tell you, the Mud Baby has proclaimed that he's all for IPW. He's on our side. I've seen a couple things lately that make me wonder. He's always putting over NWA Wildside wrestlers and how good they are. Star, stick with the home team. We have a lot of good wrestlers here as well. I swear to, oh my goodness, Star, if you turn on us, I'm going to send you right to Ron Niemi.
Jet Jaguar is about half the size of David Young, but the rep about David Young, he's one of the bigger guys. He's one of the more hardcore guys from NWA Wildside, but he can hang with the cruiserweights. He's had incredible matches with AJ Styles as well as New Jack in Wildside. He's in there with Jet Jaguar. He can brawl. He can fly. This guy hit about a 20-foot moonsault up in Georgia a month ago that I seen on tape that was absolutely mind-boggling.
And there you see Jet Jaguar caught his leg trying to do the leapfrog over David Young. He is not used to leaping over such a big, wide individual, I guess, except all the times he had to leap over you to get out of his way when you were managing him in 911 Incorporated.
The only time he has to leap over me is when we're at Extra Innings Ballpark Cafe at 1850 Central Avenue right here in St. Pete, when I'm up at the bar and I'm trying to get another rich, frothy, sweet beer, and I order that oh-so-spicy order
okay,
of
Ron,
hot chicken wings.
Ron, calm down. I know you get excited about the chicken wings, but we've got to talk about chicken pot pie right now. Von Tankard, a snack pack, in the ring, taking it to David Young. And let me tell you something, nobody really wants to talk about this. We have a lot of those, but I remember one of the best matches I've ever seen in the independent scene is an empty arena match between Jet Jaguar and Von Tankard, who are now teaming up. The two guys went in the ring. They just started dancing and falling down on the ground and doing moves to nobody, and nobody even ever touched each other. They both went for the Barry Windham suplex off the top rope in opposite corners, hit heads, and got counted out. That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
David Young comes off the ropes, goes to throw a huge haymaker at Von Tankard, ends up taking out his partner Chaos. Then he hits him with the tag. The thing with people like David and Chaos, it doesn't matter if Von Tankard and Jet Jaguar faced each other in an empty arena match, and now that they team as Dance Fever here in IPW Hardcore.
That Jet Jaguar can pop.
He can pop. He can bust and move old school, kind of like Electric Boogaloo breaking too.
I heard next month, Von Tankard bust a windmill.
No, absolutely not. But you see him take the noggins and knock them together of the Chaotic Cult. There's been many incarnations of the Chaotic Cult, always led by Chaos, and usually he's stuck with lackeys who are now panhandling down at the corner of 34th and Main. But he's stuck now with one of the best partners, I shouldn't say stuck. He's recruited one of the best partners on the independent scene in David Young. And Star Stevens, the Mud Baby, he's in there supposedly called it down the middle. All I see is every time Chaos and David Young is pulling some other dirty trick or some shenanigan of some sort, Star's over there at ringside trying to score some funny.
I tell you what, Star Stevens, you got to give him credit. He's going in there trying to stop Chaos with the sickle, and for a man 24 years young to go in there and risk his life like that, I got to give it to Star Stevens. That took some courage.
You want to talk about violence, and you want to take about hardcore to a new level. The Chaotic Cult and Von Tankard, it doesn't even matter that Jet Jaguar's in the corner. He is the athlete. He is the so-called skill of the team. When it comes to Von Tankard, he's all about entertaining the fans, and he's all about ripping the flesh off of the skull of whoever he's in the ring with.
Which he's doing right now with that sickle that Chaos brought into the ring.
Oh my God.
And I tell you what, people may not say that this is called for, but this was a hardcore match, and let's face it, Chaos started this war, and Von Tankard wants to finish it.
It's like the famous mud match from Puerto Rico, where Carlos Colon defended the Universal title against Stan Hansen and Kamala, that absolutely nobody wants to talk about because of the sick bloodbath. You see Jet Jaguar squeezing the life out of Chaos with the Oh my
Oh.
God, so much for the claw.
Oh, and a little scientific maneuver there by Chaos.
He takes a Dusty Rhodes nut shot and then gets buried with a DDT to Chaos. Chaos can wrestle. He was
And
trained
look
by...
at him. Very smart, holding the leg there so that Jaguar
Absolutely.
can't get away.
Like I was saying, he was trained by the great Boris Malenko. He knows how to wrestle. He'd take his career, he's put everything that he has into his wrestling career. Like I was mentioning earlier about Jeff Peterson, he claims he's been wrestling for 18 years. He claims he invented the tope at the young age of 2 that Liz Marks stole from him when he was up at Kettner's Wrestling School in Delaware. Chaos doesn't need things like that. He doesn't need a so-called boxing career like Jeff Peterson. He's here to wrestle, and that's why David Young just buried Jaguar with a powerbomb, because he knows how to do it all, brother.
I tell you what, I heard about that Jeff Peterson boxing gimmick going on, and actually what the truth of the matter is he's modeling to be the new Glass Joe for Punch-Out number 2.
Glass Joe wasn't that small, Aaron. Come on.
Well, that's true.
He liked to eat sandwiches. Jeff Peterson, he doesn't. Jaguar, on the other hand, banned in Hooters and wing houses throughout the country. He shows his face in a Hooters or a wing house. He comes in here and wants a drink, eat, or fondle. He's thrown out on his ass.
I tell you, talking about people who have eaten too many sandwiches, you can catch Shannon Rose along with Barry Horowitz and myself each and every week on Pro Wrestling Weekly, Wednesdays at 7 o'clock from 7 to 8 p.m. on AM 1040, and starting in February, every Saturday at 1 p.m. we'll be on the air also. So check us out twice a week on Pro Wrestling Weekly.
And here comes Jaguar with the big, huge comeback. You seen him. He was getting his neck practically snapped off of his spine, and he's doing everything he can to come back. And instead of asking if he's giving up, instead of asking if he's okay, Star Stevens is over there talking to the Hardcore Princess, seeing if she wants to go make love at the airport on the hood of his car as the airplanes fly overhead.
Yeah, he likes to use that gimmick because he thinks if he has some small funny, he can get anything he wants, much like people from Lecanto, but that's a different story for a different time. And I'll tell you, people don't know about this Jaguar. He's crazy. He's certifiably insane. He's the kind of guy that would go to a rock concert, take off his shirt, and start waving over his head and smell some girl's hair 2 rows in front of him.
That was you jackass. I heard about that.
What?
It was at the Saliva Soil Nickelback Rock and Roll Extravaganza.
And default.
Yeah, I forgot.
But I wasn't there. I don't know.
Well, I was there, and unfortunately, the guys I went with drag you along, and I gotta sit there and act like I like you. But you know something? We're walking through the crowd off to get out about our 15th beer, and I heard an IPW chant in the crowd, and it's because of people like Jaguar, Von Tankard, and the Mud Baby Star Stevens that the fans of the entire Florida area are starting to rally behind IPW.
Oh, they
wrestling.
recognized me, and you know it. They couldn't even see you in that crowd.
They recognize you from those Haynes BVD brief billboard gimmicks.
Hey, I'm not Marky Mark, but I do get around.
You have been known to do some Sears underwear modeling, catalog modeling, I should add.
Actually, when I was 8 years old, I modeled the Aquaman underoos.
Oh, I remember that. I used to have the Darth Vader and Chewbacca ones.
Well, that's very good, Ron. We all know you're a Star Wars mark, but you didn't have to bring out here on television. And that was a beautiful Hurricane Rana there by Jaguar. Let's see if he can get the 3 count. Oh, here comes Chaos. And that had to hurt. That's a big, big man whacking a chair over a little guy's back.
Not just whacking a chair over his back, as Jim Ross would babble, knocks him with a steel chair.
Yes, and he would call this a slobber knocker and all kinds of other wrestling cliches. We don't do that here in IPW Weekly Recap because we're too busy with the cheap plugs.
He would be talking about Katie Barthadora, pure sex brawl, and he'd also be trying to put over that pathetic football team, Oklahoma. But at least he's on the air. He's not like that fifth-string commentator, Kevin Kelly, who puts on an average of 10 pounds a week and is stuck on the sidelines interviewing people like D'Lo Brown. Who else?
I don't really know who he's interviewing because I don't watch all the 4th and 5th rate shows that Kevin Kelly would be on. But we just missed Jaguar with a big spinning DDT, took David Young down on the chair. And Ron, speaking of football teams, you know what the difference between cereal and Michigan is?
No.
Cereal belongs in a bowl.
Well, Michigan's at the Citrus Bowl, and they will dominate once and for all when they destroy Tennessee from the SEC, just like IPW Hardcore Wrestling, Jaguar, and Von Tankard are destroying Wildside right now. Jaguar's just playing possum.
Yes, he is. He likes to play possum and also raccoon, but we'll talk about that at a different time, like I said. And look at this. He's going for the razor's edge here off the top rope, and if he hits this, it's going to be over. Oh, beautiful Hurricane Rana. Another one by Jaguar. That's 1, 2, 3, and another big, big win for IPW. Star Stevens, you called it right down the middle like I told you better. Fans, we're going to go to our closing and be back with another week in just a minute.